This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Skylight Theater for their presentation of Rotterdam.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
You are here with Michael Shepard. I am the director of the piece, Rotterdam.
So, question, what do you guys decide to do with this piece?
The Skylight Theater contacted me about 6 months ago and said they had a new piece that they were acquiring the rights to and asked if I would be interested, and would I read it? And I said, absolutely, and I read it. I said, if you get the rights, I want to direct it. And they called back a month later and said, we got the rights, do you want it? I go, absolutely, and we then started putting the pieces together.
What did you like about the story?
That it's a story about all of us, because we all go through change. We all have huge changes in our lives. You know, some not as big as what happens in our story tonight, but change in any relationship is very... when you're in a long-term relationship and change happens, you have to deal with it openly and honestly, and I think that's one of the things this play deals with. It handles quite well, is the honesty of what this situation is and the change that they have to deal with.
I love the fact that also it was basically discovery too, about who you are, about who you've always been, something you've neglected about yourself, and actually about who your mate is. I mean, they've always been like this, and you've never appreciated it.
One of the things that we discovered in working with this play is that, and working within the trans community, is that when someone begins their transition, it's not just their transition, it is everyone's transition, and that sometimes the person who is actually transitioning has to take a back seat to let everyone else get, to express their concerns and thoughts and everything else. So basically what you're saying is that this story takes a couple that has been in a 7-year relationship, introduces a brand new element, and it's how they deal with it, which is what we all do. It doesn't have to be anything, it doesn't have to be something as big as transitioning, but we all deal with change in relationships, and I think that is the most important message. And how we deal with our partners during the change, and how we deal with all the other circumstances that surround us during the change that's happening. So I think that's what the message of this story really is. It's a universal story of change.
I agree. I think not only are families in this country changing, but this country itself has changed to a very positive way also. So I see it as being a bright reflection of society.
One of the things that really attracted me to this play is that it's a primer. It is a story that people will see, and it will create dialogue. It is a story that artists will see and will give them permission to discuss this and write about it and create more stories about this. This is the primer, and I'm very excited to be a part of bringing this story to Los Angeles so that other artists can then take this and create bigger, brighter works that will resonate on the stage, hopefully as much as this show does tonight.
I love your choice of casting too. All your characters were played so well. I mean, what do you look for in your casting?
Honesty, fun. I am someone who likes to have a fun room because, look, let's be clear. Acting and directing in Los Angeles theater does not pay a lot. So if you're doing this to create something that is, I gotta create because, no. I want to have fun. I want to have a good time, and I look for people with a good energy and a good sense of purpose, and people who are going to be open to accepting anything I throw at them. And this is the cast that did that. They were, every day I'd go, okay, we're doing this, and sometimes they would look at me with a little bit of side eye, and I'd go, no side eye today, ladies and gentlemen, no. And they would go, okay. And they would always just put their best foot forward with an open heart and an open mind, and hopefully all of that work showed tonight on stage.
This piece, my review on this piece is, it was funny, it was entertaining, it was artistic, and it was eye-opening.
Then I guess I've done my job.
I loved it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
Miranda Wynn. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm a Valley girl, born and raised. I went to UC San Diego, got my bachelor's in theater and communications, and now I'm here at the Skylight Theater playing Alice in Rotterdam. She's very complicated. She's very pulled in many directions and kind of stuck. She wants to please everyone, and I think her challenge is finding the strength to please herself and be her authentic self like everyone else in the play.
You know, some people say she's really a 21st century woman. She has an alternate lifestyle, but actually, I look at her. She's very normal. She's just like everyone out there.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely think I connect with Alice on so many levels, and our lives are completely different, but I feel like I'm going through a very, very similar struggle, and I think it's just a human struggle that the play is about. So,
you know, even though this touches some very, very dynamic, controversial issues, I thought it was well done. It was very entertaining. It didn't offend anyone. It was very. I actually wouldn't have any problems recommending this to families.
No, I think that it's pretty family friendly, and it's very educational actually, and I think that the humor actually helps with the issues. Comedy is like one of the best ways to inform people, and how can you be mad when you're laughing? Like, how can you be, that's how we get through so many things, is through laughter, and work out problems. So
also love the way you played. I could feel your emotions, I feel your dynamics. I felt myself being elevated when you were lifted high, and I felt myself a little depressed when you were kind of breaking up. I felt a little sad about that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you related and we're on our same level in that journey. You were on the journey with us. Yeah, that's great.
Once again, I really love the performance. I loved your performance in it too. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Ashley Romans. I am playing Adrian/Fiona in Skylight's West Coast premiere of Rotterdam, and I'm having the best time. Adrian, the thing that moved me most about this character is how brave he is to be himself in a world that's telling him he can't, and making space for himself and not hearing no or hearing wait. And I think we have become so accustomed to it. So just the play in general has a lot of high moments, a lot of low moments, and everything, all the shades of gray in between. So it's a universal story of making room.
I agree. Basically, when the word universal story, this was a story about a relationship. It was a story about two people in love.
Yeah.
I was facing a lot of problems. I was facing change, facing discovery.
Yep.
And it was just beautifully done.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We had the Trans Lounge come and actually watch the show, and it means the whole world to me that they appreciated the show for what it was, and the authenticity and the love story behind it, and anyone can see themselves in this story. It's a story about humans, and I think we need more stories like this.
Whenever I look at characters in a theater, the one who changes the most obviously is the protagonist, but also they're the main focus, the main story behind. Your character changed the most, so this was actually a story about you.
Yeah. Actually, for a while I felt like it was a story about me, but then I realized it was kind of a story about Alice, and then it was like it's kind of a story about all of us, because Alice needs to take in the change that's happening, and it's really great because this entire play is kind of an introduction to a conversation. Like, how do you love somebody who's a little different than you, and how do you get the courage to be yourself? And I did change the most, I guess, technically, but I was always the same. Adrian was always the same person from Fiona to Adrian. Alice was the one who had to change. The world around him had to change, and that's what we have to do for our trans brothers and sisters and everywhere in between.
Yeah, I never looked at it that way, but I guess you're right. It wasn't he was always the same person. Right. It was just the world around him who changed.
Yeah,
interesting. His family changed. His spouse changed. Yeah, and again, society changed a little bit also.
Yeah, and we're still changing. We're still asking questions and making conversations and trying to be better. We all just want to be better. We're all trying our best. Yeah.
I loved your performance tonight. I love the play. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Ashton. It means a lot. Thank you. Seriously.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Ryan Brophy. So this is my professional debut in LA. I am currently a student at USC. I'm 2.5 weeks shy of graduating as a BA theater major. I'm from Houston, Texas, originally. Go Stros. We're really proud. Sorry, everybody in LA. And yeah, I know Tony from Tony Abadamarco. He's a producer here. We did a reading at school about a year or so ago, and I ran into him in September, and he told me about this opportunity, and so I came and I auditioned and was fortunate enough to become a part of this company. So here we are. I played Josh. I played the older brother of Fiona, who is Adrian in Act 2. Josh is someone who can't help but solve other people's problems by virtue of just being stuck in his situation, you know. He's someone who's kind of like run thin by the amount that he cares. Like, he has a strong connection to Alice, and obviously a strong connection to who he thinks is his little sister, but then finds out is his little brother. And a lot of the time, the biggest obstacle with him comes from his sort of his effort to sort of juggle those two and try and find a connection, which sort of proves not impossible, but it stretches him very thin, and he realizes that the best thing for him in the end is just to kind of move on with himself and not get hung up on what it is that's wounded him so deeply. Alice having left him for who at the time he thought was his younger sister, but then we find out is his brother. Yeah.
Usually characters like yours are kind of a little boring. You know, they're just straight-laced characters. They kind of like transition between scene and scene. They fill in backstory and all that. But this, you actually played your character very well. First of all, you were very entertaining.
Thank you.
But also, you drove the story. It was like you were an anchor point. It was like, you brought down when they were going through an insane period. You brought them down to earth. But also, you allowed them to fly high in the sky.
Yeah. It's in the fact that he knows both of them better than they know themselves, essentially. And he's not afraid to tell them the truth and tell them the hard truth, because he knows that's what they need to hear. And that's the only way that he can help them get through to their situation and be as much of a fixer as he is. But then he gets to a point, where he realizes that that's not his job, Having moved into the apartment sort of against his will, sort of entering into a war zone voluntarily, he realizes that he's been doing it sort of like the ultimate favor for these two people, that they need to go off and learn how to accomplish themselves, and he needs to take care of himself. So that's where the end comes from. That's where he finally learns how to cut ties with Alice, and, after his brawl with Adrian, he knows that he just needs to step back and kind of allow for whatever is meant to transpire. Yeah.
Love the way you played it for your first professional performance. This was fantastic. This may go down in history. Seriously, this actually may go down in history as a milestone play. You did it beautifully.
Thank you so much. Yay, good, I'm glad.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
All right, great, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Audrey Kane. I am playing Lalani in the show Rotterdam, and we just opened tonight, and I don't know, I'm very excited. Lalani is a in-the-moment type of person. She doesn't second-guess herself. She has a lot of confidence, and sometimes I wish I could be more like her.
If my audience decided to come out and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
They should expect to see a story about a relationship that's pretty universal. They should expect laughs and tears and just a really beautiful story.
I agree with you. It was more universal, because again, I guess there were some gay themes in it, some themes about foreign countries, but it was so universal. It was a relationship. It was about two people who were in love with each other, who were breaking up, and at the end they had a milestone, they had a decision to make, and that was it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think almost any relationship can go through some kind of transition where one person is changing or evolving, or both are changing and evolving in different ways, and you have to kind of reconcile whether you want to stay together or evolve evolve together. So in that way, yeah, I definitely agree that it's a universal story.
Also love the way you played it. I mean, your part, you nailed your character. You were a foreigner, but you had so much personality. I just love the way you did it.
Oh, thank you. The accent definitely helped create, like, that was the first step in creating a different person other than myself. So I had so much fun doing it.
Once again, I really loved it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Josh Gershik, the Dramatist Guild's regional representative. I was the dramaturg on Rotterdam by John Britton here at Skylight Theatre.
If my viewers decide to come and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
They should expect to see a story about a relationship evolving. A relationship that has high points and low points, and like any relationship, is funny and serious and dramatic and tense and somber and ridiculous all at the same time.
I look at this piece, and again, from inside this piece, one of the storylines was basically, I've always been like this. You look at this tremendous change. No, I've always been like this. Society's kind of been like that. You look at this as being, this piece is just a normal piece. It's a normal piece about two people who love each other, and you think this is a revolution. No, it's always been like this. This has always been this way.
I think we're in an evolutionary period with regard to sexuality and sense of self and identity, and this play addresses all of that.
But it's also so incredibly normal. I mean, it's just, I can imagine myself working with this couple. I can imagine myself living next to this couple.
Yeah, well, you might. You might, in fact, live next to this couple. Well, transgender people and gay and lesbian people and bisexual people and intersex people are just like everyone else, and you may be working alongside a transgender person or gay person. You might be living alongside, your doctor, your lawyer, your butcher, your baker might be gay or transgender, and we're really like everyone else.
I've seen a lot of shows with gay themes in them. A lot of them are very boring because, I don't know, maybe they're afraid of saying things. Maybe they have to present some kind of positive image. This one presented a sloppy image of normal people having normal problems and working through it. I just loved it. It was perfect.
Yeah. Well, these characters have headaches and upsets and disappointments and victories, and they've got all of the things that real characters have, including an ending that isn't packed and leaves us wondering what's going to happen to these characters. It's not all tied up in a bow.
Yeah, and exactly, if they just break up and they don't, it's okay. I mean, they'll work it out. They'll get over it. They'll move on. I mean, that's life. And this was about life. So again, I feel very good about these characters. No matter what happens to them, I think they'll do okay.
I like that. Right. The question is, will they grow apart? Will they grow together? But wherever they go, whatever their journey, they're fully realized characters that you can relate to.
I really loved the piece. I really loved the drama part of it. I loved your interpretation of it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Rotterdam will be playing at Skylight Theatre from November 4th to December the 11th. For more information, go to www.skylighttheatrecompany.com. This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Atwater Village Theatre for their presentation of Delirious.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
88.9 Jason Page.
Great. And can I give either a brief bio of you or some kind of introduction?
Yes, I'm Jason Page. I am one of the most famous people that you've never heard of. Voice of the Pokemon theme song. I've sung backgrounds with Michael Jackson, Meatloaf, a whole bunch of other artists, backgrounds for Foreigner, Scorpions, a lot of old classic rock bands. I'm also the voice of When You Get Nausea, Heartburn, Indigestion, and other famous jingles that you didn't know exist. Or me.
And which character did you play tonight?
I was Dennis slash Edmund, son of Gloucester slash Gloucester. He is the false flag of the experience. All of the politics that exist in the world today existed back then. Families being torn apart, lying, cheating, stealing, power corrupting, absolutely. And he is one of the ones that was corrupted, absolutely. Satanism. I mean, come on, it's all there.
Actually, if my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
A madcap version of King Lear that is a play within a play within a play, a musical within a musical within a musical, that addresses common themes that exist today that were also present back in the day. Shakespeare writing some of the Bible for King James, and King James writing King Lear for Shakespeare, which may be partially historically accurate.
I thought the first one of the piece was hilarious. I thought it was very funny. I also thought it was very musical. I mean, I was humming the tunes, so I thought it was very pleasant musical.
Yes. Ron's use of language and music is absolutely incredible. Everything's catchy. They're earworms. They don't go away. You have to go home and deprogram yourself, or you'll be thinking about these songs for the next week, which is a good thing for us.
Also, really challenging material. I mean, you're covering the Bible and you're covering Shakespeare. Plus, I didn't think it was offensive to anyone. It's very pleasant. It's very poignant also.
Exactly. There's a lot of politics that come with this very lighthearted madcap comedy, and you can address themes that are very important, like homelessness and the state and power structures being corrupt, without beating people on the head. You're just entertaining them, and because the classics that Shakespeare have written have all the same themes that are recurring today.
I loved your performance too, because even though again this was a semi-Shakespearean play, you have a very classical form of humor to you. A lot of clowning, a lot of commedia dell'arte.
Yes, this is Ron West's brilliant direction and his long-time understanding of comedy through Second City. He knows how to put us all in the same world and extract all of the meaning while keeping it funny. And keeping the pace up is really very important.
Once again, I really loved the performance. Thought it was very funny. I actually really enjoyed the singing and the dancing also. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you. Good to have you here.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Robin Roth. Lived in LA all my life. I do a lot of improv and musical theater, and I perform at California Adventure and the Frozen Show.
Great. And which character did you play tonight?
Goneril, the eldest evil daughter of King Lear. She is so much fun to play because I am so angelic in my real life. No, I'm just kidding. She is evil and conniving and playing everyone against each other, and so it's like a big game of chess, and it's really fun. I very much enjoy it.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
It's a super fast-paced, fun musical comedy that is kind of a play in a play in a play, and it's like Mel Brooks meets Spamalot, and it's super fun, and I think everyone will love it. You don't need to know Shakespeare to enjoy it, and it's a really fun time and a great night out.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I really liked it. When I heard the topic, it would be about the Bible and about Shakespeare. I thought it would be like 14 hours long.
No, but it went by quickly, didn't it? Yeah, it's super fast-paced and lots of fun, and the songs are really fun, and it's a big musical extravaganza.
Yeah, I also like the way you played your character. I always loved anti-heroes, especially in Shakespeare. I love the way he handles anti-heroes because, you know, the royalty, you know, the manipulative, the planning and all that. And also his women were actually very strong. They weren't, you know, they actually had a purpose.
That's true. They kind of ran things from behind the scenes, and the guys had no idea about it. And I think Ron West did a really good job of playing that up and making the guys seem really stupid and making the women seem like they're in control. But then at the end, in true Shakespeare fashion, they do submit to their masters. Or, you know, Regan becomes a nun. Goneril, like Taming of the Shrew, becomes submissive to her husband, and so it does have that aspect to it, but it's a comment on society, and I think it's great.
Once again, I really enjoyed myself tonight. I loved your performance. I loved everyone else also. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
I'm Ron West.
Great. And what did you do tonight?
I appeared as King Lear in the musical Delirious.
Was you also the writer of this?
I am the writer and director of it.
So, question: why did you decide to write this?
We actually decided to write it because we were looking for good roles for women like her. That's what the impetus was.
I love the piece. First of all, it tackled a really heavy topic. I mean, tackling the Bible, tackling the works of Shakespeare. When I thought about it, I thought it would be like 14 hours long or something.
Yeah, but happily it is under 2 hours long if we subtract the intermission tonight.
I thought the tunes were very catchy. I love the way you guys write it.
Thank you. Thank you. We had a lot of fun doing it. The one that was the first song that was written for this show was Evil Love. And What's the Deal with These Chicks was kind of lying around, and we were looking for some place to use that. And something else was, there was the melody for We're Having a Ball had been around for a while.
It was also very intelligent. Talked about, again, Shakespeare, talks about Latin, talks about Francis Bacon. I mean, those are really heavy topics, very intellectual topics.
Yes, but I hope they won't turn people off from coming to see it.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
They should expect to see a very fast-paced evening with lots of laughs and good music.
I love the piece. I thought you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. I love Shakespeare myself, and also I love the tunes. They're still stuck in my mind.
I should do a quiz for the cast or put for the audience, like if they could check off the other references to Shakespeare plays in it. There's like about 6 in the show.
Once again, I really love the piece. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. I'm glad I was here.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Scott Mosenson, one of the founders of the Open Fist Theater Company back in 1990. I've been a working actor for 30-some years, and I haven't done a musical in about 15 years, and was so excited to be a part of this show. I am playing Shakespeare and also Gloucester. Shakespeare is a victim of circumstance in some ways because he's tossed about by the king and by these other characters, and then Gloucester similarly is a bit of a victim of circumstance as well, and the real challenge is trying to push through those circumstances and not just become a victim and keep the fight.
I thought you played Shakespeare like a modern-day playwright. I mean, this is the stuff he has to deal with.
That's really funny. I think playwriting probably hasn't changed very much, especially actors complaining.
Yeah, if my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
They should expect to laugh. They should expect to leave with a sore face. Most of the people that come up to us after the shows are going, "Oh my God, I cannot believe how funny this show is. My face is hurting." People that don't know Shakespeare are loving it. People who know Shakespeare, their minds are being blown by how funny and smart it is.
It actually reminded me a bit of Kiss Me Kate. You know, of that type of style of music, that type of in-depth coverage of the piece.
Oh, that's cool. That's a big compliment. Thank you. That's awesome. It's a super smart piece. It is sublimely intelligent and silly at the same time. Somehow it manages to be super smart and super silly.
Yeah, I was amazed at how much I enjoyed this thing because, again, I've seen Shakespeare before, and when they talk about the Shakespeare and the Bible, that's really heavy topics. I thought it'd be like 14 hours long or really dry.
That's funny. Every time I've tried to explain to anybody what the show is about, I end up telling them the basic synopsis of Shakespeare, King Lear, the Bible, and I go, but wait, it's really funny, because it does not sound like it's going to be funny subject matter.
Okay. Well, I really enjoyed myself. I really love the piece. I loved your performance today, too. You remind me of a real Shakespeare.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's awesome.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Delirious will be playing at Atwater Village Theater from November 3rd to December 24th. For more information, go to www.openfist.org.